who is realized, and my intention is not to belittle understand the modern mind's problems, really making people destroy themselves with their own mind. So it's more like pointing to the potential of the mind that was shown by some people, which we may or may not achieve it, but at least we will try a little bit, and thereby we kind of achieve peace and quiet and real uh, real sanctity and peace of mind. That's what I want to bring to you guys. So let's see, get it, and then we can. It's not like a comparison. They were talking about three gunas in people. Okay, in the morning, get up. You kind of get up with that kind of. Let me see. Somebody wants to talk to me. Let's bring her up and say.
Hi.
Hello, Brianna.
Hi.
What's up?
Doing today?
I'm talking about inner qualities of the mind.
Oh, okay.
You want to listen first, and then you can come with a question if you want to.
6 seconds. Skip the toilet.
Okay. All right. So when she has the questions, okay. So this is like the three gunas that they described. When you get up in the morning, you get up dull and not really want to get going and all. But as the day goes by, you want to race, you want to really work and achieve things and all that. This is when the second question, the rajas comes up. Okay, that rajas is a kind of important quality to do anything, right? So you want to engage yourself, you want to really run with a lot of things. That is called rajas, right? And the third quality is where there's a harmony between that kind of lazy energy and that deep passion. You find a lot of moderns either feel like doing it, and then they don't have clarity, they procrastinate things, they're not really apathetic, and they are kind of stuck in repetition. So what does the tamasic mind do, right? Thinking of the same thing, they, somebody, and it doesn't want to change, and it feels like it is bound by fear and depression. It's like a pond, with stagnant water. It's not flowing, and it is clouded, heavy dirt. So it is dark and color and everything. It cannot reflect that. It cannot show the sky. So when you see dark and dirty, so stagnant water becomes like that. Like if you have this activity that has passionlessness, this mind is like a moving, having thoughts and desiring, and also it has ambition. It want to attachment, and it want to agitate itself like that. So if you are planning and or if you are worrying or overthinking, which is quite common, right? That's competitiveness. We want to compete with something, somebody, and all that, right? And craving for recognition, or that's also there, and is always running. Basically, that is seldom it wants to rest, and is always fueled by what is next, what can we do next, and all that. So this is like a stormy ocean, energetic and powerful, but constantly in flux, never at peace. Our minds are like that too when you are in the Rajasic. But if you go into the balance of these energies, when you need, you want to calm down. When you need to work, you want to work and have a lot of thoughts. That is called sattvic. You know that sattvic mind, the qualities are, it is pure, it has wisdom, it has compassion, and it has balance of these two energies, and it is content with itself. Okay, so this, the manifestations in the mind are, it's calm awareness, very creative, it has creative inspiration, joy without cause, key, joy without cause, and resilience in adversity. So it knows, okay, we can do it, we'll get all that. This mind, it seeks with the truth, always going after it, and understands the whole. It's not just a piecemeal, it's the whole, it understands. And it acts from harmony within. So you have a higher contribution, then you are acting that harmony of everything, and you are desiring for everything for the good of everybody. This is not, it is still transparent. It is no movement of any waves on the top. The sky as it is, as water, like one is stagnant water, and the one is stormy ocean, a clear lake. Tamas is stagnant water, and Rajas is storm. How do you have these three energies going on in you? Everybody has them. Everybody has them, but then one dominates the other according to your understanding, according to how we are cultured, right? So times have changed. Ancient times, they have more sattvic mind. Modern minds, either they're too dull or too active, right? So these three energies are, they're never static. They kind of ebb and flow, right? They kind of raise and then down and down like that. Okay, so in the morning hours, when you get up, you can clarity satya, because you are fresh from sleep and all that. Then you have early morning. A lot of people find that clear and their mind is fresh, absorb a lot of it. That's why studying and doing a lot of mind work is very good there. And midday kind of brings our drive. That is the Rajas energy. You have activity, you have drive and all that. And as the day goes down, as the night begins to come, then we say, okay, we are putting everything down. We're going to get more like an inertia, more like a rest and sleep, right? These are the way the energies are put away. So if you proper diet, proper lifestyle, proper company, the people, and proper breath work and self awareness. What kind of energy I have? Why do I feel so dull? So, postponing everything, don't want to get into it. Why am I running so fast? Why am I driven by the compulsion? I have to do something. Like that, you can be aware of that. Okay? So, you can reduce tamas by doing all these things like a diet, lifestyle, company, and what kind of breath work we do. They kind of balance that. Okay? It's kind of reduce the inertia, but refine Rajas energy and allow Sattvic to shine. That is the goal of the yogi usually. Ultimately, even Sattva is transcended in pure awareness. Trigunatmaka. That means no, Trigunathita. Triguna Athita. Triguna means the three gunas. Atita means the one who has transcended that with awareness and understanding. They really end up with the pure awareness where your real self rests beyond all gunas. That is the aim of practices in the ancient times. Okay, so the ones who have achieved that, who are beyond us, and they balance them and use them only appropriately, those people are really uh, transcended. They call them sages, right? So we're going to compare somebody like that who has transcended these gunas into that kind of Trigunatita versus the who don't know anything about it and they're kind of, thrown to each one and then they go all over. And that is happened to the modern mind. That's my point. Okay. So if you are not aware of these things, if you don't know how to apply that, then they become real problem. Okay. So see how to align these body mind activities like food, breath, thought, sleep. These four I got talk about, right? Four pillars. While reducing tamas, that's the bad energy, stagnant energy, dull energy, or postponing energy, and all that. And then once you activate the rajas, how to channel that through our activities so that they're done properly. Not too much, not too little, right? And then finally cultivating that pure, peaceful sattvic energy. Okay. See, these are directly applicable to my wellness programs. That's why I'm this out. Okay. Eh, So when we compare the mind, um, or the people who have sages like mind, like a illuminous mind. I wrote a book on this, by the way. So I titled it as monk's mind. How does the monk's threads of a loom and human experience do that? So energies are active in the model. People like a Ramana Maharshi, who is a sage, who is it's a profound contrast. More like a you are distracted too easily and we bored easily and kind of you know we'll be running with screens. See all the screens, screens are there and we can use them for good purpose. And also many people feel heavy emotionally. That's the key. Okay. And these people are drowned in information, especially information overload. But they have a lot of information, but they don't have clarity. How, where they are going in life, what they are doing in life, what is that they want to do in life, how is that going to be happy and peaceful for them. That's the problem. You can be degrees, you can have a lot of money, you can have a lot of people around, but you don't have the clarity or meaning in life. I see them, people who come to me because they are kind of very successful, but they cannot say one actor came, he was very successful actor, but he doesn't have clarity about how which direction to go when he has a placed a obstacle. I've seen him. I saw an author who really wrote good book and all that, but he doesn't apply that to himself, and he didn't know how to do that. When he lost his wife, he is all fit. So those kind of people come to me, and I talk to them, and I hope I have helped them to see clear by their own eyes. So, so this is what's the problem with people who have tamas. Okay, if you are completely immersed in that lazy boredom and all that, you forgot your real inner self. Learning instead of, you see, and external validation. You have to go in to find out yourself, but because of tamas, you cannot do. Let's take the other energy, which is overactivity and all hyperactivity of thought, basically. That is a rajas, right? It's like a constant planning. They never stop. They will be planning, planning, writing to-do lists and not able to do them, getting frustrated by them. They worry a lot, and then they will be scrolling all these phones and all. They're scrolling constantly without any meaning. And they're going to room to room to room, talking to this person, that person, trying to get something out of it, and all that. They're always striving. Desire driven. I want to be successful. I want to get recognition. I want to gain more pleasure and security, like that, constantly going on with things. Okay, so this is causing burnout. This I see in the doctors also, because they have so much information, but they don't know the meaning of the patient care. They don't know how to be service oriented and all that, right? So because the mind always says, I'm on chasing the next goal or stimulation or something, but then never gets the peace and happiness that is within. So the result is this kind of modern mind, if you have that kind of running mind all the time, this becomes like a pendulum swinging between inertia, collapse, and rajas, overdrive. Either it is overdrive or completely static. So with a very little space between for the harmony of these two energies, which is sattva, stillness and clarity. Clarity mainly, okay? And also still, the movement is the one, is not having movement, tamas. Too much movement is the rajas, okay? So it more has a fulfillment outside, but really pauses to listen what's going on inside. What do I see? What do I hear? And all that. That is not there. Okay. Whereas if you take a sage's mind, that's my point, they have predominantly sattvic energy, resting beyond gunas. How do they do? A sattva and a sage like Ramana Maharshi, for example, his mind reflected calm luminosity, compassionate, clear, free from distortion, never distorted inner self. That's one thing he's about was he around 16 years of age, and he stayed in that kind of thing till he died. He dealt with the world. He cooked. He kind of gave lectures. He gave a lot of answers to the questions. But he himself was always in that sattvic energy and beyond sattvic energy also actually. So he also beyond sattvic energy means that he just did not cultivate sattva. He abided in the inner real self with the big S. See, the substratum beyond all three gunas. That is the gunatita. Thoughts might arise, but they were like clouds in a vast sky, unable to obscure the sun of awareness. The sun of awareness. Your awareness is like a sun, and that's not blocked. Clouds may come and go, they're not going to block that because always in awareness. So he has a famous pointer. He said, be still in thinking, right?
One sec. Still on it.
The
I'm
mind
having
is,
trouble with the connection. Please.
I don't know why this came up suddenly.
One moment.
I don't know why this came on all of a sudden. Okay. So he always said still and turn in and figure out who you really are. So that kind of awareness, that kind of thing that he had always helped him. So he was always like that. He said basically the mind is only a bundle of thoughts. There is no real mind, only thoughts are there. That is true. We construct a so-called mind by putting lots of opinions, lot of conclusions, lot of understanding that we have, and we say, "Oh, this is my mind." But there's no mind. If you ask a question like, "Where is the thoughts are coming from?" then the mind will stop having so many thoughts. See, when you really have that, be still, and the mind is only a bundle of thoughts. Inquire, who is the thinker? Who is the thinker? Is there a real thing? And the mind that you put it together dissolves into your real inner self. For this, mind has to be still. That's the point. Then only thoughts are coming. There's no mind, and then you kind of achieve what's called manonasha, destruction of the so-called mind. Not destruction physically, but kind of spiritualizing the mind, understanding this actually comes in between, but the actually real self is in there. My mind it projects some thoughts for me to useful in the life, not identify with them as though those things are mine. But that is what we do. We are egotistical. We think we have this personality. We think this is a persona, and then we forget about the presence, which is our real self. So what happens in the sage's mind is it's not a pendulum anymore between uh, tamas and rajas. That's the one which points to. Even sattva is transcended. That's why they enter into the pure witness consciousness. That is already witnessing the thoughts that are coming in the vast sky. Okay, and that is called turiya. That is the Sanskrit name, turiya. Okay, turiya. You have to in the Om also, uma, and then silence is the turiya. It's always there. Okay, so that's what this. So, what is the bridge between the two? See, for the modern seeker, to reduce the tamas and to refine rajas and to cultivate sattva, these are the things that are challenges. Okay, how do you reduce tamas? If you move, if you have a clean diet, if you have a regular rest, and you expose to the nature. Okay, that's how you reduce the tamas. That means you are getting up and moving. Okay, to reduce the constant activity, the rajas, you want to channel that activity towards something service, something disciplined practice of some instrument or some singing or something like that. Or you can do what's called a dharmic action. Dharmic action is not religious. Anything that you do that helps most people, that is dharma. That is the dharmic action. Okay. So instead of always worried about myself, my life, my accomplishment, all that, you think of the needs of a lot of people. Okay. So I try to do that. Okay? How can I improve the wellness of everybody? How can I make them feel better? Not how to make myself more name or not how to make myself more money. That's not there. That's a blessing for me. So how do you refine rajas is that you channel your activity to something nice. Okay, and how do you cultivate sattva? Meditation, calm your mind down, and engage in self inquiry. What is the self? Who is the self? And all that, and what's the thoughts and all. And also gratitude is one of the very good thing. Be content, be happy, be grateful for whatever you have. Even I have life, that's good enough. I have life. So many people don't have life even to go around. I don't have any problems in the body. Be grateful. I have things to eat. I have to. You have if you just say I have enough, one more. That is very good. Basically, appreciating what you have, naming it. This was employed in the PMA, Positive Movement activity that was promoted in France in mid 19th century or something, where they counted everything that they have, even the car, even the refrigerator, they started from there to all the way inside, right? And they have somebody to love, somebody to give some love, like that. They are very grateful. And then, if you study the texts that were done by the sages, which really gives you wisdom, not propaganda, but wisdom, make you go deep into yourself. Those things are very good for the sattvic energy. And a very simple thing that you can do is breathe mindfully. Be aware of your breath. Do it as much as possible during this. That itself cultivates this balanced energy of not too much dullness, not too much overactivity. Okay? So, what do they do is step by step, these gunas that enslave the modern mind become doorways to freedom. Otherwise, they become, real enslaving the modern mind to those. Okay, so Ramana Maharshi had a state that shows that when sattva is steady, self-inquiry unveils the silent background that was always there, the self. That's the silent background. Okay, so this is a important thing that you want to understand. I hope I made it clear. And don't worry, we can't jump into being a marksman just like that. Start where you are. First of all, take a moment and sit down and see, where am I? Am I dull, not want to do anything, and just delaying everything, lazy? Even you are surfing the internet, you are watching the TV, you could be dull. So then leave that and go out and get that energy, get up. Okay, don't let that thoughts overwhelm you. You know, suppose you find, oh, I think too much, I want so much, I want to do all the time. Then slow down, take deep breaths, and find something is valuable for me. After that, rest up. That kind of thing. This harmony is indicated by your clarity. Okay, once you have the clarity, then you say, okay, this clarity is occasionally, hold on to that. And beyond all these three, then you say, rarely you have any problem. It is rare for a lot of people, but in a fleeting silence, you can feel that. And you are in the nature, awful about the beauty of the nature, you may have that, or deep meditation. Okay, but not sustainable for a lot of people, but it will appear like that in the modern mind. But in the sage's mind, it is always there. Okay, so come up and tell me if you like this, or did you have any questions or something that you want me to clarify. I'll be happy to. Hi, Janet. Janet is my friend, that's why I'm wishing her. You are all of my friends too, but I see her more often. That's right. Janet's almost like a regular in our morning routines, and she is taking steps by step. Maybe these gunas are something she could identify, the qualities in her own daily routine, and see where she is. She could come and tell me about that. That should be good. This is not about judgment of how you are as a person. It's about understanding the natural forces that are there. That's the nature, they call it. Nature gives us a combination of this, sometimes low, sometimes high. But then our culture, our lifestyle, they kind of make it much worse. That's what happened to the modern man. Whereas ancients lived simply outward and very rich. We reverse that. We kind of complicated outward life quite, and we don't have time even to reflect on the inward life. Find out the truth of the statement and see whether it is available in your life around you. If you see, you do you see many dull people? Do you see many overactivity people? Do you see people who are calm and clear in their mind, and then they're peaceful and happy, and they just want to help the world? And you will know if that is true or not. So hopefully this is all clear to you, and hopefully it will motivate you to study your own gunas where they are. And hopefully the sage's mind is something that attracts you and makes you relevant in this modern world of restlessness or dullness. And people are, see, why are people are so many people are dulling themselves with all sorts of substances, nicotine, alcohol, or cocaine, any of those things. Why are they going towards this? Because they don't have the inner joy. This inner joy is possible when you have clarity about everything. Suppose you have clarity about drinking, what it does to the body, what is the mind, and all that. And also, you don't need it because you're already happy with your own inner quality of sattva. You're clear, you're confident, you are joy. Why do you have to go and find joy or pleasure in outward indulgence? This is why so important in modern life, because this is available in us with each one of us. But there is no guidance, there is no real pointing out to this in a way that is not demanding you to be certain religion, certain group, or certain country, but you can understand this is human experience. This is something we could understand, we could practice, and thereby come out of our addictive behavior. Actually, people fall to that without them knowing, right? So a lot of people fall into that, but it's not real. So my intention is to bring forward the existence of this kind of clarity, wisdom for us to really take up in this modern information overload age, in this addictive nature seen all over. Many people suffer. First, they get addicted, they kind of destroy their finances, their families, and everything. And then they want to recover. They spend a lot of time in that. You know, uh, I mean, the souls that are trying to help these people, they are doing that what they saw. But what I'm saying is, as a mature civilization, have we wised up, or are we going down in our wisdom? And that's why we are taking up all these things. Very few people are not are free of any of these temptations, or they may say, I tried sometime, I quit it. But then are there people, they were never addicted, never need to? What is the secret? Is it the family upbringing, society acceptance of this, or allowing this as though that's a good pleasure? Why there are so many drugs flowing into America? Because there are so many people using it. Why are they using it? If you look at compassionately, this is the lack of clarity, the outward pleasures that they get from the drugs and all that. It's lasting, but it leaves with the damage in your, physiology, in your psychology, and all that. So I don't think, as a physician, I can approve that. Be that inner joy rather than fleeting outward pressure. Okay, anything morals or anything. This is talking about actually what is happening, and there is a mechanism in our body which is called this gunas or bioenergy. Everybody has this energy going dull to overactivity, but you can make it in the middle by doing certain lifestyle changes. So I'm going to incorporate it into my resilience in terms of turmoil, how you can depend on this. This is one of the topics I'm going to discuss and show you some slides. And also it will be on the Zoom, and you will enjoy the slides and see all that. And also ask me questions direct face to face. And that will be run on next Friday to Saturday, Sunday. Next Friday, initial only 7 to 9, just to introduce you what is going to go in the next two and how to best utilize them to get most out of those 2 days. This is a retreat from your regular life, whatever you are having, into something completely different. Okay, don't have to be anybody's disciple or nothing. Just to open your mind and listen, and then go and think about it. And if it appeals to you is true, then apply that. Okay. So you want to be joyful, you want to be peaceful, and you want to have the capacity to respond with strength when life hits you, when turmoil happens in your life. How do you come and meet it? Do you meet it with your own inner strength, or that is the inner resilience I'm talking about, where you are not emotionally disturbed and you are emotionally in a turmoil where all the stress hormones uh, and they of you know go to pieces emotionally. Up until that, they didn't know the diagnosis are going on, okay. But then they make it much worse by going to cytokine syndrome, we call it, where they have fear and anxiety because they think that they're going to live forever. And they don't want to die, even the old people also, everybody's like that. And then some people may react very violently, and then that makes them much more sick. So they cannot really mount a fight to overcome this adversity. But in that adversity, how to be resilient is the theme of the weekend retreat. Okay, you have to leave your own beliefs. You have to leave your own preconceived notions. You have to leave your own prejudices, everything behind. Retreat from that into something full of knowledge, wisdom, and joy, and peace, and camaraderie, and sharing spirit. Okay, if you can do that, I'm sure you pick up some nuggets of wisdom, and then you can go and apply them in your life. Thereby, you will find you have reactivated that resilience that's already there, but you have always covered them up with your own lack of clarity, lack of understanding, or misled by people who are preaching their own uh, limited knowledge sometimes, but not really relying on. Let me put it everything aside. Let me approach like what Socrates said. He said, "All I know is that I don't know." Right? All I know that I don't know. So from I don't know, I always approach everything. Ancient Indians did that. It's called jignasa. That means intense curiosity. How does it come? If you think I know everything, I don't want to learn, it won't come. But they always said agnana. Agnana. How can I dispel my ignorance? By gnana. Gnana is knowledge. Knowledge is about not the external things, inner workings of human mind, inner workings of human heart, inner workings of human consciousness. I think they were way above us in that consciousness and understanding of that. What I am doing is I am trying to understand them and employ in my life. Fortunately, I was able to do some of it. Even that gave me clarity, peace, and joy. Okay, so even though I get only few people, I come and say my truth.